Hola! This that's not my intro. What's up, guys? This is MTheBeasties, and today we have week 1 of the UBC. I literally just finished my team recap because my opponent really wanted to battle the first day that battles were up, and I was like, you know what? I built my team. Okay, let's do it. So I am facing Grand Reminder of the Munster Maractus. Be sure to check him out in the link down below. But he's got a really cool team. Okay, I say that, but I really like the first path, and I really don't like some of the lower tiers. But Landorus Therian, very strong Pokemon. You do not expect that thing to have 145 attack, but it does. Tyranitar, obnoxious in draft format. You gotta have a fighting type move for it. Mandibuzz, kind of annoying. Flygon, potential Dragon Dance, spooky. Rotom Heat, it's just there, and I have a Kyurem and stuff, but Alomomola, I hate this thing. That's why I wanted to draft it. Mudsdale, he's not bringing. Yanmega, terrified of. Speed Boost, Psychic, Air Slash, and Bug Move, horrified. It can run Z move too. I do not want Yanmega on the field. Armaldo, he's not bringing that. Lantern, very scared of. Heal Bell user, obnoxious Pokemon. I really, and then Mega Scizor, scary enough. You can't let that thing set. So, the 6 Pokemon, I definitely expect him bringing Landorus, Tyranitar. I expect him to bring the Alomomola and the Lantern. I expect the Yanmega and Mega Scizor. I think those are the worst case scenarios that he brings. He might bring Flygon or the Rotom or the Mandibuzz. He's not bringing Mudsdale or Armaldo though. So, huge shout out to everyone. I always get nervous, especially during the first week, so I had people help me. So, alright, this Kyurem set wasn't my idea, it was Vert's. I had a Life Orb set with 4 attacks. The only thing about this guy was, and I had max special attack and some attack, it was a little bit more mixed. But, okay, so my team comp was Kyurem, Weezing, Diancie, Reuniclus, Eel, and Scizor. But I initially had Reuniclus, and I was like, okay, that's a good Scald switch, and that can deal with a Alomomola. I had Calm Mind, I had Focus Blast, I had Psychic, and Recover. I was doing some test runs, and Reuniclus only can invite in the Tyranitar, and can only invite the Scizor in. And I really can't do that much. I have to switch out. Scizor can U-turn on me, or Tyranitar can straight up kill me with Pursuit. I did have Cobra Berry, but too many times that could happen. So in the grand scheme of things, Reuniclus just didn't do much. I had some more ideas. People said he used Spadef Krug. Probably should have listened to them after the battle. I'm sorry. And then this Kyurem. I was told Toxic on the Kyurem. Should have listened to that too. Alomomola is Alomomola is obnoxious. But I had Sub was a good idea, so I put Sub on. Now, forgive the minus attack. This was literally a last minute change. I had Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Earth Power, and HP Fire, and I was very mixed in my attack. I had the same speed. This outspeeds a Jolly Landorus, and since he's not Scarf, he could be a Swords Dance Rock Collar set, or Gravity, which completely wrecks me. I'm just throwing that out there, so there's that. But I'll be more prepared if we face again in playoffs, because there's no divisions in this season or whatever. So there is Kyurem Black here, very strong Pokemon. What this thing can do is Kyurem Black. If it's not Super Scarf, I can take a hit from Landorus. Tyranitar, a little weird. I have Earth Power, but it doesn't do too much. Mandibuzz, Flygon, Ice Beam, Rotom Heat, Earth Power, one-shots. Alomomola, I can try to Fusion Bolt that thing. Mudsdale, I'm not worried about. Yanmega, a little weird because Bug Buzz breaks through Sub. I'm all the Lantern, Earth Power, and Scizor. I had HP Fire for it, but I was like, I don't need HP Fire. Because a lot of my team can actually handle Scizor. Scizor's not that big of a threat. But the thing about Kyurem is that the combination of Alomomola and Landorus really shut it down. I had HP Fire, I had to go Fusion Bolt just in case of Alomomola, and I actually ended up not needing Fusion Bolt. Also, I had minus attack. I have no idea why. Look at that, minus attack versus max special attack, 1 point less. I think that's kind of funny. Now, I really think this guy's going to help. It is Wheezing. Now, you know, Wheezing is a low-tiered mon, but I actually think it can be a tier 2, theoretically. Not, you know, it's not the greatest thing, but, you know. And it deals with all of his ground spam attacks. If you look, actually, I have it in the match-up section here. If you look at his team, he has Tyranitar, which has Earthquake, Landorus and Flygon, which spam Earthquake, Mudsdale, which has Earthquake. I guess Armaldo could have Earthquake. So he has a ton of ground moves. A ton. And Weezing can come in on that. It can take an Outrage from a Flygon as well. You know, it can deal with most of his physical threats. What it can't deal with is a Psychic Yanmega. And it can struggle with the Tyranitar or in Rotom as well. And the problem with this team is nothing really wants to get burned, so I had to do some stuff later on that can kind of do with Alomomola a little bit better. But next we have Mega Diancie. It really hurts his team. Magnet Rise is there in case it's not Scarflando. I can potentially levitate, but I'm not gonna just do that willy-nilly. I have to tell if the Landorus is Scarf or not. And I have Diamond Sword, Moonblast, HP Fire. It literally hits everything. Fun fact, if I get +2 defense, I can take a Bullet Punch and live with like 15%. Now, the weird thing is, in testing, I got O-Code, and I live with 15%. So I got like the min and the max roll all in once. It was weird. Up next, now, I switched Reuniclus because the thing about Reuniclus is it kind of dealt with Lantern and Alomomola, but it just automatically invites Tyranitar and the Scizor. So Arcanine theoretically is supposed to do all of them. The only problem with this is a Heal Bell Lantern. Lantern can ruin things. But I do have Toxic for the Aloe, and I am very sped up. Scald really doesn't do a lot. It does like 20%, or maybe a little, like 25. Flamethrower and Close Combat are for those two, Tyranitar and Scizor, and Morning Sun is to heal. Enough speed to add Speed Jolly T-Tar as well, just in case. I don't think he'll run Scarf too, just now. Also, now we have Electros. This thing is designed to, I think, take on Tyranitar a little bit, and this takes on a Rotom Heat a little bit better. The spread here with the Assault Vest and Max HP. The rest is in Special Attack because HP Ice Oko's Flygon. There's a ton to Landorus. Oko is a non-max HP one. T-Bolt does like 60-70% to Aloe. Drain Punch does over half to Tyranitar. And I have U-Turn because he has a Landorus, because he has a Mudsdale, because he has a Lantern. I have U-Turn because I do not want Volt Switch because he can easily stop that in his tracks. And finally we have Scizor. This is my Mega Scizor check. I have the Watmole Berry, I have the Fire move just in case, because I also needed a Defogger. I didn't expect him, well, like, he could bring rocks, so I need to defog because I have Cure Black, because I have Arcanine, especially with that change of Arcanine and Reuniclus. I needed Scizor. Originally Scizor wasn't even on his team, but like that was before everything, and I put Scizor on. So U-Turn, I almost had Bullet Punch, but I was like, you know, I'd rather have U-Turn and Roost and Defog. So here is the battle. As you can see here, let me just make sure it's all being captured. Alright. So he has, well, hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. Pause. Switch sides. Okay. So, reset. Okay. Sorry about that. So, also fun fact, I had Magic Bounce on Diancie because it's a custom game. Because I have to have Mega Diancie, what I had to do was, we restarted because it was my bad. Honestly, 100% my bad. And I have to sneeze, so... Woo! That was a big one. So, he has Landorus, He has our Maul though, which I really didn't expect. He has Lantern, Scizor, Flygon, and Alice. We did bring both water types. It's gonna be a long one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lead off with the Eel, and I'm gonna HP Ice, Safe Play. This is a lot. It also tells me he's a little bit offensive, so he's Scarfed. And this tells me that this thing's probably a Rock Setter because it's not Stealth Rock. So I'm gonna go hard into Diancie because he actually has to go for Stealth Rocks according to the plays. Okay, I switch out here only because if he had Charty Berry. Because if he had Charty Berry, Iron Tail, or Earthquake, it could theoretically knock me out or put me at such bad health that Rocks takes me out, and I did not want to risk that. Diancie can put in a lot of work theoretically, so I switched. And I'm going to go into Scizor because I can defog these rocks pretty safe. I risked the Scald. It was very risky of me to do that, and he does actually not get the Scald burn. That tells me I outspeed, so I U-turn. And this also reveals he's Rocky Helmet and Toxic. So I'm going to fire off a T-Bolt here. Actually, I think I go for the U-turn. That's right, predicting him to switch. But he wants to wear me down with Toxic and Scald. That does so little. Alomomola is so weak offensively. I think he's going to protect here, so I actually hard switch. I don't go for the U-turn. Hard switch into Cure. And I can set up a sub on this thing, unless he has D-Gleam. And that does not break my sub. That was a crit. Remember, I have no HP in this thing. And that was a crit. So he goes Landorus. I play it safe and go for the Ice Beam here. And it actually does so much damage to Armaldo. And I freeze here. And I do decide to be that guy and go for a sub on this thing. Now, because he is Rocky Helmet, I decide to not go for the Fusion Bolt. Also in this, I panicked and realized I had minus attack. So I was like, oh god, that really, really sucks. It really does. So I'm not really going to use Fusion Bolt against that thing. So he goes for the U-turn. It doesn't break the sub. It was kind of wild. So Ice Beam there. Now, I want this Lantern dead. I'm going to fire off another Ice Beam. Bad prediction on my part. And he just goes for the Volt Switch. I thought he wouldn't. I thought he didn't want to take that Earth Power 2 to face. But, you know. So Arcanine is a really great switch in the Scizor here. Now, he does go straight for the Bullet Punch. I am Spadef, so it's not going to be super, super great. But the thing works. And I get a Toxic Cure. Now, okay, this turn. So, okay. I think he's physical. You know, Flygon gets Dragon Dance. Actually, he could have been really bad if he Dragon Dance right there. Just saying. He could have won right there. But, so, the problem with this is that because he had Draco Meteor, and he knocks out my Weezing. Weezing checked Scizor, and it checked Landorus pretty well. It would have checked Flygon if he was, you know, regular Flygon, like Choice Scarf or something. But because of this, Weezing goes down. I really think I lose right here. But you know what? We gotta just try to play it safe. I'm glad he's not Dragon Dance. That almost is worse than this. So Weezing's gonna go down. Oh goodness. And I go right in the Diancie here because I know he is locked. He's Choice Specs. That's no way it kills. Moonblast does so much damage. And I knock this stupid thing out. He doesn't have Heal Bell, which is great if I can Toxic this crap. So I go into the answer to Alomomola, and that does 24%. Very, very nice. So I hard switch into Diancie, predicting maybe a Toxic. But he goes Flygon here, and I outspeed because he's choiced, and Moonblast does a lot. So this is a Spadef Alomomola, because, or at least very Spadef, more or less Spadef. So I go for the sub here, because even a Wake Up Slap does not break my sub. Fun fact. And I think it takes like 3 Scald to knock me out. So I know he has the, I know that he has Rocky Helmet, so I'm not going to go for Fusion Bolt here. I predict poorly there, but Skull is not breaking my sub. He gets the Wish Off, so I'm right now going to spam Earth Power. It's pretty safe. I know since I don't have pressure, I'm terrible. You know, I'll lose this war unless something happens. I get a crit there. These crits don't matter. It just forces him to play a little bit more safe, I would say. But so he is going to heal up all very nice there. Earth Power doesn't do a lot. I get the Spadef drop, which is very cool. You know, it's going to force a switch. I am concerned that he's going to go into the Landers at this point. And I really wanted to predict it, but I was like, I should have. It would have taken this thing out and made my life so much easier. But it's okay. He knows he walls this thing, so I'm like, I'm not going to play this song anymore. And I'm going to go right into Arcanine. He goes Scizor, which is great. I'm going to fire off a Flamethrower. I believe I fire off a Flamethrower. No, I fire off a Toxic, which actually is kind of important. Kind of. So I'm going to sack off Eel here because it's so low and poisoned, it can't do a thing. I honestly think I'm pretty down at this. Weezing and Eel were crucial in my gameplay. But he sacks Flygon right here, and that's pretty big. I don't know why he didn't go out to Scizor. I never revealed the HP Fire, at least not until this point. And I have to sack Scizor off because at this point, Landers is awfully terrifying. So I go in to cure him, and I pray he doesn't get rolls, but he decides to switch. Alright, I don't even have HP Fire, so it's not that big of a deal. And I go into my counter. But he predicts this, but he doesn't go Landorus. He goes Alomomola here. And then he goes into the Landorus, and I'm like, okay. I fire off that Flamethrower. I play it pretty safe. And you know what's my least valuable member here? Mega Diancie. But just hold that thought. So I'm going to go into cure him here, knowing I can take this Earthquake if the rolls are in favor. And then I sack off Diancie. I had to do that so the Toxic racks up, and down goes the Landers there. So okay, I go into Arcanine because it's safer than going into cure him, especially with this nonsense there. And I fire off that Toxic, which is nice. So okay, I know he's gonna poison me. He can't poison cure him. If he poisons cure him, the game goes down. He can burn me because all I really need are special moves, and burn is so burn is such nerf that leftovers is fine. So I know he's not poisoning me here. He goes for the Skull. I think he gets the burn, yeah. So he's gonna heal up there quite nicely. But he is stacking with issues there. I want to fire off an Earth Power. No point in subbing right now. No point in weakening my HP. And I'm going to go into Arcanine here. He could very well go for the U-turn here, Volt Switch, but he goes for the hard Bullet Punch, which is awesome. Because, you know, I can get a little chip damage off on this thing. It doesn't do that much, but, you know, it's better than nothing. I'm glad I had Flamethrower for Flare Bullets, because recoil, especially on this garbage, sucks. So I'm just going to heal, try to wear his Toxic down. Of course, mine is wearing and tearing on me too. I'm just going to try to get some damage off. I really can't afford him to Toxic, and I can't afford him to switch out on our Wish, so that's why I went for the Flamethrower there. But I know he can't Wish on the Scizor, and I don't think he's going to poison. Also, I fear that he's going to go into Scizor here, so I just fire off that Earth Power, knowing it takes him out. And he can only go for the Scald here, because I am burned. So this burn can actually save me this game. So I'm going to sub up here as well. And this thing is so obnoxious. I can't stand playing for Samoa. I always lose against it. Earth Power takes out this Scizor. I couldn't let that thing get a Wish up. And now, honestly, at this point, I do win the game. He can't break my sub without me getting enough damage off. Even if he breaks my sub, Scald can't do enough, and would get to the point where Arcanine can theoretically heal up on this thing. So I am just going to fire off just some Ice Beams because I actually run out of Earth Powers after this turn. Yeah, on the Protect. Pretty stupid of me there, but yeah, I actually do run out of the Earth Power here. So I'm only going to Ice Beam because Fusion Bolt will do Rocky Helmet, and that could take me out. Do not want that, especially if damage calc lies, because I think it does 18%, but I don't know. But that is week 1, and we take the win, a 2-0 victory on our behalf. Very good game, Grim. Very strong opponent. I'm very mad he brought both of the water types. Oh, Lantern wasn't that bad, but ugh. Anyway, if you guys like that, make sure you leave a like down below. Check out Grim's channel. And week 2, I don't know who we're facing, but it won't be for a while. At least it will be next week. So until then, this is Adam Bees signing off.